remembering always to stop before we start. I invite you to simply take a pausing breath and allow yourself to arrive. And in this moment, it is my privilege and my pleasure to say, happy first week of Christmas month, beautiful people. I am Reverend Vicki Jeter, your senior minister for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. We thank everyone for being with us on this Sunday, December 7th, 2025. We welcome all paths to God. We welcome your challenges and your questions. All pieces and paths of spirit, all areas of life, and all parts of ourselves are essential to a world that works for all beings. So whether you're here with us for the first time or the 100th time, or if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you for being with us because you are why we are here. As you all know, coming into a new month, we come into a new theme. So our theme for December and moving toward 2026, believe it or not, is remembrance and renewal. And so as I am sure most of you might have thought about today, today is Pearl Harbor Day, commemorating December the 7th, 1941, which was energetically the beginning of World War II. And even though that is a daunting thing to think about, and perhaps sometimes you think, how long do we go before we don't remember that fully? But it's really, really, really important that we do, because all of that still calls for our attention in spirit and calls for the heart of healing. And today is also a most sacred anniversary date for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. And for this purpose, we are most grateful to have our founding minister, Reverend Carolyn, speaking for us today. This is the date that some of you will remember having actually been with us, and some of you may not even know anything about. On December the 7th, 16 years ago, the home of Reverend Carolyn and Bob caught fire and burned to the ground. And it doesn't happen very often, maybe once every 7 years, I guess, the way calendars go. Doesn't happen very often that this anniversary actually lands on a Sunday. And so it really feels like a tremendous opportunity to visit transcendence and transformation through Carolyn's and Bob's story. And I feel just really, really blessed and grateful to have this opportunity. So with these things in mind, I invite you all to take a moment for yourselves in your own histories and in your own reflections to see what brought you to be with us today. And just breathe around it, make room for it in your mind, in your heart, in your soul. And I open this time with affirmative prayer. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, Presence of Life, Mother, Father, God, Source and Sustainer of all that is. And as this one is the all that is all, this one is all that I am. As this one is the all that is all, this one is the all of every person within the sound of my voice, within the field of consciousness that is Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, in the immediate and in the extended. We choose to be the ones we have been waiting for. We choose to know that we are uplifted by each other. We choose to encompass both the history and the future through our consciousness, recognizing that the fullness of spirit in the here and now extends both encompassing the past and our future. And we simply say, yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, that we should have this phenomenal opportunity to experience what we call life, all the while knowing that in spirit and in consciousness, in mind, there is only one, and everything's all right. And so it is with great gratitude to have both worlds that I simply release it with the heart of a child, allowing it to be, and so it is. And this brings us this morning to our opening song, which is very specially selected. This song was written about the time of the origination of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living as a chartered community. And it is God and I Are One, that was written and wrote the music for and sung by our beloved Kai Lee.
I know that there is one life, that life's my life now. I know that there is one strength, that strength's my strength now. How do I know these things? God and I are one. God and I are one. God and I are one. This I know for sure. God and I are one. Only good is present. God and I are one. This I know for sure. I know that there is one peace. That peace is my peace now. I know that there is one joy. That joy is my joy now. How do I know these things? God and I are one. God and I are one. Only good is present. God and I are one. This I know for sure. God and I are one. Only good is present. God and I are one. This I know for sure. One life, one love. God and I are one. Only good is present. God and I are one. This I know for sure. God and I are one. Only good is present. God and I are one. This I know. This I know. This I know for sure.
Such incredible joy. I still can feel myself standing and singing that song as the first song that Kai brought to us, and it was just incredible. And that brings us into the feeling of our mission and vision fulfilled. The mission of Louisville Center for Spiritual Living is to teach personal transformation as a virtual community, living the principles of science of mind and celebrating all paths to God. which manifests our vision of a world that honors and respects all people. And of course, as ever, we know any of this is only as good as can actually be applied and made to change your experience of your life. So this is the application of our financial declaration of principles for this week. Willingness is worthiness. I believe that whoever is willing to bring the qualities of God into expression is worthy of experiencing them. Therefore, as I am willing to prosper others, I am prospered in return. And the application of what we believe as pertinent to today's talk. May the fire of transformation glow in our movements. May the fire of purification burn away our doubt. May the fire of justice guide our steps. May the fire of wisdom illuminate our paths. And with that, it is so much my pleasure and privilege to turn this over to your practitioner of the week, Miss Tammy Ellis.
Everyone, it is my honor to be your practitioner of the week. And you guys always stay in my thoughts and prayers. And I'm pulling up this beautiful poem we're going to read. I'm going to read the poem today written by Reverend Vicki called I Am LCSL for Louisville Center for Spiritual Living. And Vicki wrote this to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the Louisville Center back in 2017. Today, it will give you some context for the history Reverend Carolyn will be speaking from in her presentation. Let's take a nice deep breath in as we take in this beautiful experience of the home of Reverend Carolyn and her husband. January 2007. I am an inspiration in the mind of God, conceived by Linda Ketchum's vision, nurtured by Vicki Jeter's dream, born as the fruit of Carolyn Harvill's calling. June 25th, 2007. I am the hearts of 13 original soul seekers that beat as one, with impassioned longing to find or build, and ultimately to embody their spiritual home. September 2008. I am first embodied and christened. LCSL is the gallant old home, Esther, the beloved new baby of Bob and Carolyn, and the jubilant sacred seat of Sunday morning celebrations. December 7th, 2009. I am reaching seekers far and wide, with aspirations aiming ever higher, when an unimaginable tangled twist brings beloved Esther down by fire. I am bereft and at such loss. I don't know what to do or where to go. I have no clue. But home is where the heart is, and my heart beats deep and wide. With Carolyn's unfailing lead and Bob soundly at her side, for all the countless souls who loved me, who never missed a single Sunday. Sunday, December 13, 2009. I became somewhat a nomadic sort, reluctant as this may be. Here's a brief bird's eye view of my location history. The Steamboat Museum, Victoria Snelling's, the Rainbow Center, Linden Lane, Unity, of East Louisville. Each precious place, each new experience and relationship is woven into the total essence I am. September 15, 2018. I am Reverend Carolyn. Her heart, soul, and leadership are my compass. I am a host of fabulous, dedicated board presidents. I am an incredible troop of endlessly supporting board members. I am the unwavering team of local and distance licensed practitioners. I am the music and each phenomenal artist who expresses me. I am the technical support team and the technology. I am the platform assistance of community service volunteers. I am the dancers, the painters, the mystics, and the healers. I am every parent, every child, every infant. I am every family pet within my community circles. I am every guest and every visitor stopping along their way. I am the Saturday morning discussion call. I am every class and every workshop, every retreat. I am my 10th anniversary party. I am at the heart of every prayer request, every treatment, and every blessed demonstration of the eternal good of God. I am all this ceasingly circulating wellspring of love. I am living gratitude. I am LCSL. Such a beautiful poem and such a beautiful way to honor the history of LCSL today. Let's take a few deep breaths. If you'd like to just deepen your relaxation in your chair or wherever you are, just let our bodies, minds, hearts, souls, just take a breather and relax into this meditation. Today, I'm going to read The Inner Healing Experience. Universal love enfolds me. Universal wisdom inspires me. Universal spirit enlightens me. Universal power encircles me. I am one and all is well. As we begin the inner healing process, let me invite you to close your eyes and relax in quiet confidence, opening yourself now to the miracle working higher power. Now symbolize the unity of your thinking and feeling nature by touching your chest with your hand. And let my words act as your own for your own inner acceptance and receptivity. I acknowledge there's a power, intelligence, and wisdom greater than my own. I am in the midst of it, and it is in the midst of me, sensitive and responsive to my every thought, word, action, and feeling. I now make this true for myself by saying aloud, I acknowledge. Acknowledging the higher power working through my life, I admit that I am personally responsible for solving my own problems while being guarded and assisted by something greater than myself. As I am ready to surrender the conflicts of my ego to the wisdom of the infinite presence, I simply speak these words: I surrender. Knowing that forgiveness is the key to unconditional love and the kingdom of heaven, I now unconditionally forgive myself or anyone who has ever injured me in any way, real or imagined. I forgive myself for any mistaken judgments and the resulting actions. From my deepest level of understanding now, I say, I forgive. Realizing that I continually experience the effects of my own thinking, I now choose to allow the higher power to recreate me deeply, filling my mind with thoughts that are only constructive, positive, loving, and beautiful. I call upon this divine inflow by stating aloud, I choose. I now center upon that one special idea that I'm willing to accept as real for me in this coming week, visualizing the idea as already acted upon and brought to pass. In seeing my idea become a fact in my experience, I enjoy the happiness and peace of my thought fulfilled and gratefully speak these words: I accept. Knowing that I have an everlasting place in the midst of the power that sustains all creation, as well as the support of all those around me. I allow myself to relax in the peace of fulfillment and gratitude, and I say, I release. Now I call to my mind the face of someone who has touched my life in powerful, wonderful ways. A friend, family member, teacher of mine, someone who is not physically present here today. I turn toward that face in my mind's eye and I say to them, I am grateful for the good in your life. I now open my eyes to the beautiful Zoom boxes in front of me and just say to each person, I am grateful for the good in your life. Let's take a nice couple of deep breaths in and out, just absorbing what you would like from the meditation today to serve you as you move through your week. You like to move your toes and your fingers and just kind of move around a little bit and stretch. And I'm so grateful, and so it is. Please enjoy our beautiful special music for today, Rise Up by Jordan Rabjan and Catherine Hamal.
broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gon' walk it out and move mountains. We gon' walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you. When the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe, and I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet. And I'll rise up, I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up, I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you. All we need is hope. And for that we have each other. And for that we have each other. I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I will rise up 1,000 times again. And we'll rise up, high like the waves. We'll rise up, in spite of the ache. We'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. For you, for you, for you,
Good morning, everybody. I love that song. I love watching the interchange between the son and the mom, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I wanted to start today by saying thank you to Vicki. Vicki was the one that reminded me this was the anniversary of the fire and encouraged me to share some of that in my talk. And I really appreciate her doing that because I learned a lot of things. But one of the things I learned was the importance of being able to share your story, to knowing the value of talking about what's happened to as many people who will listen to you, and as many times as you can do it. There's just such healing in doing that. The fire happened. I was home alone. I was watching TV. Bob was in the Northeast visiting family coming home that night. And I smelled smoke. The alarm went off and I panicked and I did everything I could It was in what we called the sun porch. It was right behind where I was sitting. And I tried to pour water on the fire. It didn't do any good. I couldn't get enough water into a pitcher to put the fire out. I tried to get the water hose outside to work. I tried to get a neighbor to help me because I couldn't turn the water on. I did everything I could to put the fire out, but it wasn't until the firemen came that we really had a chance to do that. The home was built 100 years ago, and the construction was straight up. There was no division between the floors. So when the fire started on the bottom floor, and it started in that outside wall, it just went straight up to the attic and spread. And so it was there. It took them a long time to put the fire out. They would think they had it, and everybody get excited because they were starting to put their equipment away. And then all of a sudden, the attic in a different spot would flare, and they would have to start fighting the fire again. I was standing outside on the street in front of the house, watching it. I can't explain what that felt like. When it first started, and I was trying to do something about it, a woman who had been to LCSL only once before was bringing her son home from Boy Scout, and she stopped and asked me what was going on and could she help? Could she do? And I didn't know anything that she could do. Uh, a neighbor had called the fire department and they were coming. I didn't know that, but they were coming. But she went home, looked up on the internet, and found, I think it was Rick McCullum's telephone number, and called him and said, "Do you know that your minister's house is on fire?" And of course, he had no idea but he came and he called other people, and other people came, and they stood with me in the cold on the street watching my house burn. I will never forget how that felt to have them come out and stand with me, to be there for me. It meant so much. That was one of the things about the fire was I experienced kindness and love in ways I had never experienced it before. There were people at all levels who would give of themselves and do whatever they could to help me. They supported me in going through all of this. I had no idea how to handle it. I was just being there. Bob wasn't home, not at first. I'm standing out on the street and I call Bob to tell him to not be shocked that the house was burning, but I was okay. Well, he was in the backyard. He had gotten home and he was standing there watching the house burn and wondering where I was. And so we came around front and we stood there together and watched and waited and wondered what would happen. That was such, I can't, there's a picture of me that I'm sitting on the front of the fire truck, and I'm a picture of dejection, of sadness, of being overwhelmed. I didn't find that picture to share with you today, but that was a time when I look at that, I remember how that felt. And I remember how it felt to have people come and give me a hug, to have one lady come and bring me a jacket that was half my size. So all I could do was put my arms straight into the arms and hold it to my chest because that's the only way it would fit. But that's all right. It helped me to be warmer than I was. I had a neighbor who brought me little pink shoes. Her feet were half the size of my feet, but that's okay. I appreciated getting a good part of my feet off of the cold driveway, the cold street. So there was this kindness all the way. Um, Sue Fatfinger, and some of you remember Sue. She's been gone now several years. She lived 3 houses down on Park Place, turned to the right, and she lived just one house down. So she was very close. She came home from being somewhere else. She saw all the commotion. She came down and stood with me. And she offered me all sorts of things. And we ended up spending a couple of nights in her house. She was just so giving. And I'll never forget, she said, "I have some underwear I've never worn. Would you like to have that?" She was thinking about what I needed, and she was right. I needed that. But I went the next morning. We stayed in a motel the first night. Red Cross supported us. And the next morning, very early, I went to Walmart and bought underwear and bought little rubber shoes and sweats because I didn't have anything. I had the clothes on my back, but that was it. But we soon discovered that there were things in the house that could be salvaged, and we did so. But at that point, I wasn't sure. The insurance company did say that it was a complete loss and started the process of bringing us what we needed to rebuild and to restock our home. They were wonderful. They were Safeco, and they were wonderful. One of the things I did in the beginning of this was I called some people who had been through a fire, and I said, "What did you do? How do I do this?" And they told me to trust but verify. Trust my insurance company, but verify. Trust my contractors, but verify. And so that became my motto. Trust but verify. And almost everyone that I trusted came through ACEs. There's only one contractor that I was sorry I'd hired. Everyone else was perfect, and I loved them for it. So some of the things that I learned through the fire, some of the things I benefited from were the insurance company that worked so well with me and the feeling of kindness and love that was expressed by so many people. We had got Sue Fatfinger called the people that owned the house that was 3 doors down on the other side of the street we lived on. They were selling the home, and she convinced them that they needed to rent it to us for a year or however long it took, and they agreed. And so we got a house right down the street that we could live in that was really a nice home. And I think we benefited that home because we helped make some improvements to it. But it gave us a place to be where I could look out my window in my office and see my home. I could see if the contractor who said he would be there at 10 o'clock was there, and I would go down and meet them. It was such a blessing. I never would have thought of that, but Sue came through so many times. We'd been in the rental home for just a few days, and LCSL came. A contractor had given us a Christmas tree, and members of LCSL came and they brought ornaments and they brought decorations and they brought food and they were there and they were laughing and they were loving and they were happy and they were being supportive of me and Bob. I will never forget sitting on the couch and watching them, just sitting there drinking in all that love and kindness, experiencing something I'd never experienced before, a height of gratitude for the love of others. It was an incredible gift that keeps on giving. So, some of the benefits from a home burning and being declared a total loss was one, we got a new home. Not many of us get to build a home in our lifetimes and fill it full of all the things that we want and have it paid for. And we did that. We got to do that. We got to choose all the tiles, to choose all the colors, to choose everything, and to work with the contractors to make it what we wanted it to be. We changed one major part of the original house in that we leveled the kitchen and the sunroom to the rest of the house. So it gave us this openness that we used to entertain beautifully. That was such a wonderful thing. My kitchen, and I'm not bragging, I'm just telling you, it was incredible. We made the most wonderful choices and it opened up to everything. And so then for the next several years, LCSL came to meet for Sunday mornings. LCSL came to workshops, to parties, to everything. And it was beautiful to share our home in that way. So that was some of what we learned. Um, I talked about that Bob and I shared this. So moving to Jeffersonville was something that we were so involved with together. But this, every day we were doing something. The insurance paid to have a man. He came in from Florida. It was freezing cold, and he spent 2 days in a lightweight jacket when he should have had a parka. But he documented everything that was in the house. He counted how many blue jeans there were, what the underwear was, what the dishes were, all the pretty things, the paint, everything. I never could have remembered all of that. But he documented, it took him 2 days of spending major hours each day counting things and put them in there. Well, then I had this list, and I called, I asked friends for people that they knew who had been through a fire. And I called them and asked for advice. You've been through this. What did you do? And the best advice I got was trust, but verify. Trust, but verify. And so that's what I did. I trusted the insurance company. I trusted my contractors, but I did verify what we did. So I had a choice. I could take a flat sum for everything that was in the house, or I could document everything that was in the house. And one of the things that I got advice for was document, because they will not give you anywhere near what you need to have to take to replace everything that you've lost. So anyway, I had this list. It was over 2,000 items, and I went through the internet and I put a price on every one of them. That was very time consuming and it was hard to do, but it gave me the opportunity to have a major project and to accomplish it. And it gave me such a feeling of doing a good thing for me and for Bob, and to just accomplishing a very difficult task. That was one of the gifts. Um, it built community. The people at LCSL came forth and gave in so many ways. Sue got the Steamboat Museum to open up the next Sunday, and we had our meeting there. We did not miss one Sunday, even though we had lost where we met. But we went there for a number of months, and then we went on from there. It was in what Tammy read earlier. So anyway, that was one of the wonderful gifts, was we built community and we got a beautiful brand new home out of it. So when I think about the fire, I think about the devastation, but I think about the healing. I think about all the people that came forth and were kind to us, loving to us. And it is something to experience that's incredible, just incredible. So I want to thank you for letting me share with you what I learned from our fire and to share with you the actual fire. Um, and I was thinking about this talk. I ran into a video by Mary Morrissey. We saw a video by her just a few weeks ago, and she's a powerful speaker and a wonderful teacher. Um, she was part of it. I didn't know this. She was very instrumental in beginning the Season for Nonviolence. That's an international movement that touches lives all around the world, and it focuses on the fact that we can live without violence, and we want to work toward that. So she's a very powerful woman, well respected internationally. And so this video that we're about to see is a little longer than we normally do, but it is so powerful that I really wanted to share it with you. So, Vernon, oh, wait, Vernon, go back. Pull up the house, the first house.
I know it was December the 7th.
Yes, this is the house. We bought it. And that's a long story, but they were redoing it. The young man who did it had bought it to flip, and well, we were with this benefit of that flip. So it's the nicest house I ever lived in, and it was such a blessing and such a wonder. Okay, go to the next one. This was what the house looked like the night that it burned. One of the things that I remember so well was they pulled the Christmas tree out onto the front porch, and then they walked around it and they stepped on top of it. And it was such an image of devastation. I got the job of a few days later going and seeing what I could save, and I could save some of the ornaments, but I'll never forget how it looked to have that Christmas tree laying there on the porch after being stepped on. But anyway, I wanted to share what the house was like, what it looked like for those of you who never saw it. Okay, Vernon, now let's go to the video.
Are you living a life that you absolutely love living? Or do you have dreams for your future and they're just not happening? And deep down, you know that procrastination may be what is going on, and it's absolutely keeping you stuck. So I'm Mary Morrissey. I'm the author of 2 best-selling books, No Less Than Greatness and Building Your Field of Dreams, which became a PBS special. I'm also the founder of Life Mastery Institute. Most people aren't living the life they want simply because their current thought paradigm causes them to procrastinate about the very things that will help them get to the life that they really would love to live. So what is a paradigm? A paradigm is a collection of thought patterns that produce habits, that produce results that may or may not be in harmony with what you would really love. Not every pattern or paradigm is negative. Some of the patterns that you have in your life work great for you, and other patterns are working to keep you stuck. So if you have dreams for your life that are not happening, if you want to know what your paradigm is producing in your life, all you have to do is look at your results. Your results are a perfect mirror for the pattern that you live by. That pattern operates through thinking and feeling and action, and all those 3 things equal the results you're having. So if you would love some things different in your life, if you'd love to break free in that love life, you'd love to break free in your money life, you'd love to break free in a business life, something you would love to create or do or have or give, and it's not happening in your life, you can know that what you would love is not in harmony with your paradigm. Your paradigm is not going to produce that life. So we have to address that, because here's how a paradigm works. Your paradigm's 3 stealth weapons that cause you to derail your dreams are distraction, dissuasion, and DEFCON 1, your fight or flight reflex. The truth is, you have more power than you know, and you are, in the same way I am, responsible for my own results. No one is going to create your dreams for you, and no dream can come true if you don't dream it. So let's, for a moment, let's pause here and take a look at those 3 things that the paradigm does. So you have a dream for your life. You say, this is the year I'm going to find my soulmate. This is the year I'm going to open that business. This is the year, and you mean it. And you mean it. And then life happens, and it's 3 months, and then it's 6 months, and then it's a year, and then it becomes like, wow, this has been 5 years I've been telling myself this. It's still not happening. And you know deep down you're not a bad person. It's just that life happens. What's going on is there's a very powerful pull to the familiar that comes from the paradigm. It's an operating system by which it governs your life in the same way a thermostat governs the temperature in the room you're in. And so life starts to get a little bit better. Your paradigm is going to shut it down. It starts to get, it'll say things to you like, well, this is too good to last. When's the other shoe going to drop? Humans say these things to themselves, which is a code for my paradigm is uncomfortable. Things are starting to get a little better than what I'm used to. So your paradigm, when you start to say, I'm going to live a better, freer, fuller life, it'll say, okay, I don't think you really want that. I don't think you really deserve that. Who are you to think you deserve that? And the idea of dissuasion, it's doing its very best to get you to decide not to go forward. So let me for a moment remind you, just in fact, that you are more than your body. You are more than the life you're currently living. You did not create yourself. You can't breathe yourself. You can't even make your heart beat 1 time under your own power, and neither can I. Something sacred, something wonderful is happening with you and me, and it is this thing called life. Life itself is ever for a freer, fuller, expanded expression of itself. It's what it does in a blade of grass, pressing forth through cement. It's what it does in a tree. It's pressing to the edges of what it's been and to grow new versions of itself. And what it's seeking to do by means of you and me, and that's why we have dreams. That's why we set goals. And we have patterns of a life we have lived. The moment we set a goal that's a greater life than the life we have lived, that paradigm wakes up. The voice of the familiar wakes up and tries to talk us out of it. You've heard that voice many a time talking to you, telling you that the part of you that wants to go forward, don't pay attention to that part. Pay attention to the part of you that's arguing for why you can't. You've got both sides. And you're going to pay attention to one side more than another. If you don't know this is going on, it's easy to believe the voice of the paradigm. It's easy to believe in the voice of the contraction. It's easy to believe that voice is right. So it'll try to argue you out of it. It'll use dissuasion. You didn't really want that. Who do you think you are? You can't have that. If it can't dissuade you, you said, no, I'll put my stake in the ground. I'm going to do this time. You will no longer know when. I'm going forward. The next thing it will use is, okay, tomorrow. It's really not convenient today. You'll actually be more creative if you just get all your email done or all your laundry done or go get the car washed. Do it tomorrow. Because it knows if it can get you to live the tomorrow syndrome, tomorrow never happens. Tomorrow is always going to be out there. It's always going to be somewhere out there. That's what I'm going to. If it can't dissuade you, it's going to seek to distract you. And if you say, you know what, I'm going to take a step today. I'm going to do 3 things today to move me in the direction of my dream, and you put them on your calendar and you schedule them and you actually start to take action, the next thing you're going to find is that there's going to be this DEFCON feeling at times. It just comes over you like you feel like, oh, I'm scared. Because what happened is the paradigm is actually dying. You're no longer giving your soul force to a constrictive pattern. You're now designing a new pattern. The old pattern is dying. And the death knell of that paradigm goes through your nervous system, and it passes right by your logical center, goes right through your fight or flight center of your brain, and it's like, why am I so afraid? Like there's nothing going on. And it's not logical, but you still can feel that. If you don't know what that is, it might stop you. So know that if you're going to go for a life you really love living, you're going to take some steps in your own behalf. You're going to go ahead and take some steps today, not tomorrow. You're not going to let dissuasion. You're not going to let distraction. You're certainly not going to let a little fear stop you. Because successful people, highly successful people, are willing to be uncomfortable, not for just being uncomfortable, but they're willing to be uncomfortable in the interest of growth. In the interest of growth. If you stay in your comfort zone, all you could have is what that paradigm's brought you, because that's where your comfort zone is. So you want solutions for overcoming procrastination. And here's a few. You can notice what you're noticing. You can notice whether the voice that's saying, hey, let's take a step, is talking to you, or the voice is saying, you don't want to do this, you can't do this, you're not good enough, do it tomorrow. And when you notice what you're noticing and you notice that the paradigm is starting to gain your attention, hit your internal pause button to say, wait a minute, I have 2 choices here. One is to contract, one is to expand. What is a step I could take that would move me in the direction of my dream, for the love of my life, for the business I want to create, for mending fences and having a better relationship with my kids or my parents or my husband or my wife or. What is a step I could take? In writing that book, I've always wanted to write. What is a step I could take? Hit your internal pause button and take some action that will move you into a new frequency. It really will. It'll change things. Immediately when you take positive action, the paradigm has less hold on you.
Okay, thank you, Vernon. All right, I found that video to be very impactful. I can't tell you how many times in my life I've said, why did that happen? What is it that I'm thinking that brought that into my life? And I haven't always found good answers, but I have looked and I continue to look. Why am I where I am? Do I want to be here? Is this the best place for me? Is there something I can do to add more to my life? I love when she talked about you want more money, you want more life, you want more purpose, you want more joy. You get the freedom in that area to bring that into your life. And so she outlined some things that are really straightforward. And I think if we use them, can make a huge difference in our life. And so I wanted to share it with you. And let's see, I did a little review. Vernon, the next slide. Okay, current thought paradigms create our world. We have heard that in so many different ways over the years. We talk about it often. We may talk about it every Sunday in some way or another, but it is what you're thinking that creates your world. Uh, and a paradigm is a collection of thoughts. Some are good and some are limiting. Without looking at them and deciding if they are working for us, we allow ourselves to keep ourselves stuck where we are. There is a comfort zone that has been created by our thoughts and the things that have happened in our life and the things we've learned and the things we've said yes to, whether we were 3 years old or 40 years old or 60 years old. Our paradigms are made up of those thoughts that we've said yes to. And we've said yes to a lot of things that are not helping us. And our opportunity is to know that and to look and see what it is that's driving our life. We all would be, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't think we all would love to break through in some area of our lives, and we can. That's the thing to remember, that whatever is going on in our life, if we want it to be different, it may take a while, but it may not. It may just take a new decision on your part that brings you to taking different actions. So to know that we can change the paradigm is so important. And when we accept that, then we can look at it and say, okay, what is this going on? The next slide, Vernon. The three elements of procrastination: distraction, thoughts that say you don't really deserve or want the new way of being. How many of you in one way or another have said, oh, that's too much. I can't have that. That's too perfect. That's not for me. No, we all do it in one way or another. But we can begin to know that anything we want, anything that we desire, anything that is enhancing our lives is ours for the taking. We can have all that we want. Displacement. We'll do that tomorrow. We'll do that when things get better. When the kids go off to college, then we'll do that. When I have more health, I'll do that. But we displace all of that. And the third one is DEFCON, fight or flight. You know, we all have had that. Something happens and we either fight it or we run away. And both reactions have their value in different situations, but we need to know what we're doing. What are we reacting to and how are we reacting? So we look at our results. If we don't like them, then we identify our paradigms and change them. 3 small changes per day. That will do it for us. Thank you. Thank you, Vernon. I learned a lot from the fire. I was challenged in so many different ways. I look at it now, and I look at it in a view of what I've just read from Mary Morrissey, and I see it differently. Um, I know that I brought that into my life, and I have some ideas of why, but I don't understand it completely. But I had the opportunity to think about it, to know that it is something that it was a result of my thinking, my expectations of life, and that I can change those expectations. It's a challenge and an opportunity and a joy. Thank you for sharing this talk with me today, for allowing me to share with you something, such a huge event in my life. Thank you. And now I take a deep breath and I recognize Spirit. Spirit, the only thing, the absolute, the everywhere present, the all-powerful, the all-knowing, and the inspiration and creator and former of my life. It is everything, and it is me, and it is you, and it is all of us having our experiences together. And we are thankful that Spirit is all of that, and that we are learning more and more every day to see Spirit in everything and to accept Spirit's direction and guidance and love and protection into our lives. And the inspiration that comes as we get closer and closer to understanding the perfection of all. And so with great joy, I let it be, knowing that we grow each and every day, that we experience and accept more and more every day. And I am grateful, and I let it be. I trust it, knowing that it is so, knowing that it is acting in my life where I am for what I need. I thank you, Spirit, and I let it be, knowing that it is all good, knowing that it is expressing imperfection. I let it be, and so it is. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Carolyn. I so appreciate that. It helped all parts of me to be more open to my next paradigm shift. We're now ready to do our prosperity affirmations together and celebrate our giving time. Your love and support are very appreciated. You help keep our community thriving and growing. We gratefully accept your credit card or debit card. The copy of the link will be in the chat for PayPal and for Zelle online. Or you can mail a check to Louisville Center for Spiritual Living, P.O. Box 43958, Louisville, Kentucky 40253. Let's say this beautiful affirmation together on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. As abundant as the stars in the heavens, so shall our prosperity be. And I pass to you, Reverend Vicki, for blessing of the gifts.
As ever, of course, we are already so blessed. The word has been spoken and received into the law. And I just take this moment to honor this little multiplying basket, that we know that every thought, every action of love has gone into this basket like the fish and the loaves and is being dispersed out to everyone in our community and around us. Thank you, thank you, thank you for our blessings. I let it be, and so it is.
And so it is. And now for our announcements. Reverend Vicki, our own Reverend Vicki, will be speaking next Sunday, December 14th, on the delights of the season. Oh, cute. We're going to be having our holiday movie night on Friday, December 19th, on this same Zoom that you're on now. So we hope you'll come and join us from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this movie is called A Dog's Purpose. If you haven't seen this, I just highly recommend you seeing it. I've already seen it, and I loved it so much I want to see it again. It's just a really loving and touching and enjoyable movie. And Vicki, would you like to talk about these?
Sure. World Healing Day is coming. anyone who's been with us for the end of the year knows that World Healing Day happens on December 31st, the morning of December 31st. So it's New Year's Eve, but it's New Year's Eve day in the morning at 7 a.m. Eastern Time around the world. People will be praying for world peace. It is a phenomenal way to welcome the new year of 2026. And in my heart, every single member of our community will be there. And that's all that I'll say about that for right now.
Thank you, Reverend Vicky. And would you also like to tell us about this slide as well?
I would indeed. At the beginning of this month, one of the people who has a tradition of being one of the first people to donate for the month, she was so excited. She put in her donation, then she sent me this email. She said, "Oh, and I have unexpected income. Yeah, oh my goodness, I was blessed with $250. I'll be sending $25 right away." So for this year, it's very interesting because the amount received by the community is hovering at $9,483. In the middle of last year, somebody took their unexpected income and gave us the whole thing. So actually, the amount received by the community is $20 over the $10,000 mark. Keep that unexpected income rolling, guys. We will reset the barometer in January, but until then, it has gone over the top. It has broken through because we're actually at $10,020, as Vernon put the number there in the thing. It's just too much fun. And we're so grateful.
And
And
anything
so,
about this one?
yes, indeed. I'll just pick right up. People are continuing to request a regular financial update. So for December, our budget is set at $3,200 already for this month. Praise God and glory, hallelujah. We're at December the 7th. We have already received $1,733.45. The extent to which that level of good is supporting what we have been intending, that we have a balanced budget, is beyond belief. Joan and I know that we're going to feel this continue to roll through. I know there's already donations in the mail and such that have not been folded into this total. And we're going to get to the third week of this month when we pay the bulk of our bills, and we know there's going to be a healthy overage, and we will then be transferring it back into savings. And that means so much, everybody who has stepped forth to support this. Thank you. We're going to take what Reverend Carolyn taught us today, and we're going to know that we are expanding that leading edge, and that this kind of financial abundance becomes our norm. And then we expand from there. Thank you, God.
Stay after the benediction today for sharing time if you'd like, and just to have some fellowship together. In the eye of the universe, let's say this together on the count of 3 to ourselves and each other. 1, 2, 3. We are magnificent. Please enjoy our closing song, Let There Be Peace, by One Voice Children's Choir.
Let there be peace, peace to every nation. Let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. If I had one wish on my Christmas list, it wouldn't be for presents under my tree. There will be
I look in the mirror, all I want to see is true compassion looking back at me. I wanna
love my neighbor and be the hands and feet of Jesus. Take his love to the least of these. All I'm asking is to be the change. 'Cause when I get down on my knees, I'll say, let there be peace, peace to every nation. Let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. Let there be peace. Let there be love. Let there be joy for you and me. Let there be peace. Let there be love. Let there be joy for you and me. For you and me. There'll be no more tears, tears for crying. No more wars for fighting. Peace to every nation. Let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. Let there be peace, peace to every nation. Let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on earth for you and me. Let there be peace on earth for you and peace to every nation. Let there be hope for all the world to see. Let there be love and joy to all the children. Let there be peace on
We have a new benediction for the month. I invite you to say with me if you are so inspired. Divine Spirit, we thank you for bringing us all together. We humbly ask that you deliver us safely to our home. Carry us now through the crucible of fire so that we may show the world that there is to be a better world, a world beyond division, confusion, and fear. Let us demonstrate the world anew beyond fear. Amen.